Shalom, Shalom Israel. This is brother Yawana coming back at y'all with Lord's will, another edifying lesson. First and foremost, as always, before I start, I'd like to give all the praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachach Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you brothers pushing and teaching this truth across the four winds of this earth. And as always, peace, blessings, and many salutations be to you sincere Akyam wa Akwaf, you brothers along with you few sisters who are giving all diligence in these last days. Through the mercy and grace of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, through his only beloved begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, coming back with another sit-down epistle, another sit-down lesson. And, today's topic, I wanted to, bring out a couple of accounts, and a couple of scriptures or times when the Heavenly Father would send angels unto us. And why I have this video, pulled up. This is the video that I've talked about days ago. This is the beloved elder Mawatzak's page, GMS Mawatzak Ban Gad. Subscribe and be daily edified, man. But nevertheless, this brother and the rest of the LA brothers at this particular camp, were holding a street lesson, and man, this man had appeared behind them, and they were completely unaware. Now this video has been shared amongst the body and is being passed around and talked about among the brotherhood, and we believe this to be an angel of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. As you can see, I would play the video, but if you haven't watched this, I would recommend watching it. And it's called "Some Have Entertained Angels of Unawares," which is a scripture quoting Hebrews 13 and 1 through verse 2. Let brotherly love continue, entertain strangers, for some have entertained angels unawares. We understand that the angels are always, around, they're always listening, and they're always, paying attention to what we're doing, and they're giving a report to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, which is a fearful thing, in the sense that, you can't be bullshitting, or else, your slothfulness, you playing games, all of that is being reported. So it's something to kind of keep a fire under your ass, so to speak, to continue to do right. Understanding that the Lord is always watching. But it's also comforting because this was a major, faith booster, man. The Lord has shown us, one of his angels, being sent to one of the brothers, which is a sign for all of us, man, to continue in this faith, because our Lord, is watching over us, man. And we have, spiritual, bodyguards around us, which are the angels once again. And, I was meditating on this morning, and, the topic of, angels being sent to us before in the ancient times, had hit my mind. So I just wanted to show this, this video, so, you brothers out there and you few sisters can watch it for yourself. Because I reposted it, but, I figure I have it pulled up on the screen just so you can see, the page, for the elder, and so you can watch it yourself. So the first account that I want to go into is the book of Acts, the 12th chapter, because once again, angels have been sent to us before. So this isn't some foreign thing. This really is a blessing that the Lord allows us to see, right? This angel, because at the end of the day, we understand that we can't see the angels, but they can see and hear us. This is Acts chapter 12 and verse 1. And this is in the time of the apostles, man, pretty much, being persecuted for teaching, the name of Yahweh Shai and doing miracles amongst the people. And they were actually commanded to stop teaching the name of Yahweh Shai, and to ultimately stop doing miracles, man. Teaching a particular doctrine, and they were persecuted and they were threatened, for it. Like when you go into Acts, the 5th chapter. But nevertheless, this is Acts chapter 12 and verse 1. Now about that time, Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church. And he killed James, the brother of John, with a sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. It says, Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto the Most High for him. So Peter, was kept in the prison, man. It says, and you notice how it says the church, was without ceasing praying to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai for him, man. All right. Scriptures say, pray ye one for another. Verse 6, and when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, bound with two chains, and the keepers before the door kept the prison. Right, so he was, maximum security, man. It says, and behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side, and raised him up, saying, rise up quickly. And his chains fell off from his hands. So this angel came, in the prison, literally came in the prison, raised him up, by smiting him, hitting him on his side. And his chains, the chains that he was bound in, fell off from his hands. And the angel said unto him, gird thyself, and bind on thy sandals. And so he did. And he saith unto him, cast thy garment about thee, and follow me. And he went out and followed him, and wist not that it was true which was done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision. So this whole time that the angel is delivering him from this prison and breaking him free from his chains that were once on him, right? Apostle Peter, he's thinking he's seeing a vision. He thinks he's asleep. It says, when they were past the first and second ward, they came unto the iron gate that leadeth unto the city, which opened to them of his own accord. And they went out and passed on through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him. And when Peter was come to himself, he said, now I know of a surety that the Lord hath sent his angel, and hath delivered me out of the hand of Herod, and from the expectation of the people of the Jews. Okay, you see, so this angel was sent unto Apostle Peter to not only visit him in the prison, but to also deliver him out. You see, and this is why, the scriptures say in Revelation 2 and verse 10, the Lord said, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Right, because some of us are going to be cast into prisons or FEMA camps, re-education centers, concentration centers. But at the end of the day, we could be in there for a couple of days, maybe a week, maybe a month, however long. But the Lord can deliver us out, and that's the point. Okay, it's very key that we remember certain of these accounts with our forefathers and how the Lord moved and how the Lord delivered them out of their situations, because we're coming into a time, where we're going to be persecuted. Okay, we're going to be treated with hostility because of our belief and our standpoints and because of the testimony we hold, man. And that's why, we have to get ready. Okay, as the scriptures say, all that live godly in Hamashiach Yahawashi shall suffer persecution. So yeah, we're going to be subject to persecution. All right, and some of us may even have to die for the Lord, pursuing Revelation 20:4. Okay, but nevertheless, the Lord can, just as some of us may die, some of us are going to be delivered out of these camps and out of these prisons, when Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, throws us in there, and actual angels or an angel can be sent to deliver us out, just as, this account with Apostle Peter. Okay, now let me go to another account, okay, going back into the time of our forefather Lot, okay, which, was the nephew of Abraham. But nevertheless, this is Genesis chapter 19 and verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot seeing them rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet. And ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round about, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. So Lot was like, hey, man, these wicked ass people wanted to take the two men, right, that went into Lot's house, which were two angels. Okay, which that's just another point. A lot of the times in the scriptures, man, the angels that were sent were men, and I just want to throw that out there, man. Which they can transform and to a woman as well, or but at the end of the day, I just want to make that point because You know, these angels that were sent in the ancient times were men. You know, they look like men, man. just like that brother that was, you know, behind the Akim at the LA camp, man. He look, but at the same time he looked very different. As you can see, he was wearing a mitre. He had what seemed to be like a gold, you know, jacket. You know, very austere, gray beard, just, you know, huge, you know, big. He looks strong. You know what I mean? You know, the scriptures talk about, you know, the angels which excel in strength. You know, so I'm just thinking about that scripture. But nevertheless, you know, the angels would always, you know, come in the appearance of men, you know, very commonly. You know, it says, and they called unto Lot and said unto him, also like I read that part. Verse 9, right? So the men, you know, the people in the city wanted to, you know, sleep with those two angels that went unto Lot's house. But Lot even offered his daughters, but they didn't want the daughters, man. They wanted those men. Okay. It says, and they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut to the door. So the angels had to pull Lot back in the house. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. So now, you know, the angels had that ability to be able to blind those people who were trying to come into the door. They blinded them to where they couldn't see the door, man. You see? This is divine intervention. It says, and the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law, and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord. And the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. So the Lord sent these two angels to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. But, you know, in the process, you know, they also were sent to deliver Lot. Okay, and that's why they asked him, you know, is there anybody here who you want to bring out of this place? Because we're going to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-laws. So like, and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. So they didn't believe him. They didn't take him seriously, man. You know, they didn't believe that what Lot was saying, the city was going to be destroyed. They didn't believe that was going to happen. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the man laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, the Lord being merciful unto them. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain, escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my lord. Behold now, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I could not escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou be come thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. Okay, you see that? So basically, you know, the angels came and, you know, delivered Lot from the city, man, before they destroyed it. And, you know, they even went as far as to allow him to go into the city, you know, into this certain city, because he wouldn't be able to escape into the mountain in enough time. Okay, but this, again, is just another account of angels coming and intervening and being sent unto us, you know. And there's so many scriptures that we could go into, but I just wanted to keep it, you know, straight to the point, you know, and give you a couple different examples. Okay, the Lord delivered us, you know, the Lord delivered Lot from destruction, right, from that fire and brimstone, right. The Lord sent, you know, an angel to deliver Apostle Peter from the prison. So being delivered from, you know, destruction, being delivered from prison, we have already two examples, man. But now let's go into this, you know, being delivered in time of war. You know, This is Second Maccabees chapter 11 and verse 1, and this is in the Good News translation. And just again, I like to go into a couple, of these accounts, and the Maccabees and the different, displays of mercy and the different divine intervention that Yahweh Shema Shai, did for us, man, in saving us from the hand of our enemies in this time. We understand in the time of the Maccabees was a heavy time when we as Israelites were being Hellenized, by the Greeks, okay, and being forced, assimilated, to keep their customs and traditions, with the penalty, of death if we didn't, heed. Okay, this was a heavy time, and when we as Israelites were being, killed, man. Okay, and some of our forefathers, man, like, as even as on today, they, made a covenant with the heathen. Okay, and they ultimately adopted the customs. But there's a lot of our forefathers who stood stiffly for the laws and the ways of the Lord, and man, and chose death rather than to, to live with a tainted name, okay, and a tainted soul ultimately, man. Okay, but nevertheless, there was different Greek generals that were sent against us, and the one is Lysias, okay, or Lysimachus. This is 2 Maccabees chapter 11 and verse 1. It says, not long after Timothy was defeated, Lysias, the king's guardian and relative and head of the government, heard what had happened. He became angry and led 80,000 infantry and all his cavalry against the Jews with the intention of turning Jerusalem into a Greek city. The temple would be taxed, as were all Gentile places of worship, and the office of high priest would be up for sale each year. Lysias was so pleased with his tens of thousands of infantry, his thousands of cavalry, and his 80 elephants that he failed to take into account the power of the Most High. Okay, and that's hey, a lot of these different Greeks, man, that came up against us. We understand that they were Edomites. Okay, and they, we know Esau is the most proud. Okay, that's why Esau is likened unto an eagle in the prophecies, because an eagle is one of the highest flying birds. It's a proud bird. Okay, he's so pleased with all of his infantry and his numbers. He didn't take into account the power of the Lord, man. Okay, and that's why you had Achor, okay, which was, I believe, the chief captain of the Ammonites in the time of Judith. He had pretty much, made a statement unto the king, which, matter of fact, let me get that if I can real quick. Okay, because even he acknowledged, right, that if we as Israelites were being obedient unto our God, then guess what? The Lord was going to defend us. But if we committed iniquity and sin, then we were going to be given into their hand. Okay, and I love this particular account, because who was it? I believe, yes, it was Achor. I'll start at verse 1, I'll drop down. This is Judith chapter 5, verse 1. Then it was declared to Holofernes, the chief captain of the army of Assur, that the children of Israel had prepared for war, and had shut up the passages of the hill country, and had fortified all the tops of the high hills, and had laid impediments in the campaign countries. Wherewith he was very angry, and called all the princes of Moab, and the captains of Ammon, and all the governors of the sea coast. And he said unto them, tell me now, ye sons of Canaan, who this people is that dwelleth in the hill country, and what are the cities that they inhabit, and what is the multitude of their army, and wherein is their power and strength, and what king is set over them, or captain of their army? And why have they determined not to come and meet me, more than all the inhabitants of the land? Then said Achor, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, let my lord now hear a word. So basically, Holofernes was trying to basically, inquire who these people were. Okay, because we weren't submitting unto them, man. Like he said, like everybody else was coming out to meet him. We were, at that time, we weren't, we weren't trying to submit. Okay, it says, continuing on. Then said Achor, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, let my lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people, which dwelleth near thee, and inhabiteth the hill countries, and there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant. Right, so he goes on to give a brief history, on who we are, man, and where we come from, and what we're about, But nevertheless, let me continue to go down. Verse 20, it says, now therefore, my lord and governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. Now let us go up, and we shall overcome this. So yeah, he's like, hey, look, he's like, if they sin against their God, against our power, then hey, then they're going to be overthrown. we're going to be able to overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their God defend them and their God be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. So he say, hey, but if their God is with them and there's no iniquity found in them, then let's just pass by and forget about it. Lest we be made a reproach, man, a laughing stock amongst the world. And I just wanted to bring out that account, okay, because once again, what we're reading about Lysias, this wicked Greek general, was just more concerned about, his numbers that he had and his military power and strength that he had, man. But he didn't take into account the power of the Most High, okay, and really, who we were, he should have went and talked with Acor, because we're gonna read what happened, right? This is It says, verse 5, he invaded Judea and attacked the fort of Bethzur, about 20 miles south of Jerusalem. When Judas and his men heard that Lysias was laying siege to their forts, they and all the people cried and wept, begging the Lord to send a good angel to save them. So, we were crying out, man, as we heard, what had happened and what, this damn devil was doing, okay, sieging our forts. It says, Judas was, and we prayed for an angel to be sent to save us, right? Verse 7, Judas was the first to take up his weapons, and he urged the others to join him in risking their lives to help the other Jews. So with great eagerness they all set out together, but they had not gone far from Jerusalem, when suddenly they noticed they were being led by a horseman dressed in white and carrying gold weapons. You see that? So a horseman dressed in all white and carrying gold weapons. This was an angel. Immediately all of them together thanked Yahweh for his mercy. He had made them brave enough to attack not only men, but even the most savage animals, or even walls of iron. So they marched in battle formation, and with them went the one whom the Lord in his mercy had sent to fight on their side. You see that? The Lord sent us an angel to fight with us in battle. It says, then they charged into the enemy like lions, killing 11,000 infantry and 1,600 cavalry, and forcing the rest to run for their lives. Most of those who ran were wounded and had lost their weapons, and Lysias himself managed to escape only because he ran away like a coward, and then, goes on to make peace, okay, with us. But nevertheless, the Lord, this is another account of an angel being sent, to us and for us to help us, man. Okay, we read about Apostle Peter being an angel being sent to deliver him out of prison. We read about the two angels in the time of Lot in Genesis, the 19th chapter, delivering Lot and his family, right, from great destruction. Okay, and now we read about a time when the Lord, sent a good angel to deliver us from the hand of Lysias. Okay, there's this wicked Greek general who had the intentions to, overthrow us, and completely set up Jerusalem as a place, of Greek and idol worship, man. Okay, like it says, with the intention of turning Jerusalem into a Greek city. We understand how the Greeks get down, man. They serve different gods and idols, and the Lord wasn't having it. The Lord heard our cries, and he delivered us and saved us out of, the hand of our oppressor at this time, in particular being Lysias. All right, so the Lord delivered us out of prison. We have an example of being delivered out of prison, an example of being delivered from destruction, and an example of being delivered in the time of war. Okay, like it says in Job, the 5th chapter, the Lord is able to protect us against, the sword. If I'm not mistaken, I know I kind of butchered that, Salaki. Let me get that. Job chapter 5 and verse 15, it says, but he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. See that? And the Lord saved us in that account from the hand of the mighty, man. Okay, it says, so the poor hath hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. Here we go. It says, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. See that? 6 troubles. And, that includes, the afflictions and the sufferings that we go through now. And that includes Jacob's trouble, because that's coming too. Okay, and what's that 7th trouble? Nuclear destruction, the second death. You see, in Lord willing, we're of the elect. We're actually going to be delivered from that as well, man. The 7th plague. It says, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. You see that? And in war from the power of the sword. You see, the Lord, has delivered us, many, time after time after time again. And like I said, these were just 3, different accounts of, angels being sent unto us and delivering us out of our situations. And why I wanted to bring this out once again is to show you, like, look, man, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, can do anything, okay? And the fact that he allowed us, to be able to see this angel, manifest, behind these brothers, man, was a major sign that the Lord is watching over us and he's protecting us, man. Okay, and we just have to continue to have that faith. Okay, like it says, ye that fear the Lord, hope in him and your reward shall not fail. Oh no, that this is the time when, we know, yes, we're going to be catching more hell. We're going to be dealing, with more hardships. Okay, but at the end of the day, the Lord is still with us, man. And he has the angels around us, watching over us, man, and protecting us. We just have to continue to hold fast our faith. This is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, believe in him and he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord, and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear, and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him, man? Nobody. Okay, all of our forefathers that feared the Lord, trusted him, and had faith, the Lord delivered them, man. It says, for the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. You see that? And saves in a time of affliction, in a time of distress, when you need him the most. The Lord, opens up opens up a door, for a way out of your situation, or pulls you out, or that puts his hand out to lift you out, from drowning, with your situations, man. But nevertheless, again, hey, look at the generations of old. And again, that's why I wanted to go into these different accounts, because everything aforetime is written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. These different accounts that we read, whether it be these three that we read in this epistle, or other accounts that you read, let it comfort you, and put your visualize yourself, in the shoes of our forefathers, man, in these situations being delivered. You can only imagine how much joy and how much faith, how much your faith would grow by, the Lord sending an angel to deliver you, man. And again, hey, the fact that the Lord allowed us to be able to see, this angel manifest amongst these brothers, man, is nothing light. Okay, it was a major sign from the Lord that, we just got to continue to push on, because the Lord's, watching over us, man, and what we believe in is true. Okay, and as you can see, this is a very, very austere man, and I believe there was an Edomite that came up to their camp and was talking, and you just have to watch the video, man. He was on guard. He was on watch. Okay, as you can see, again, he has the mitre, he has a gold-looking jacket on. This is an angel of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, and we're in those times, man, where miracles and divine intervention is going to be executed for the hopeful, for the elect, really, which Lord willing, we're of the elect. That's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect, because we hope to be of that number. Okay, those in which the Lord is going to, deliver and protect in the days to come. So I do hope and pray this lesson was edifying and comforting, and Lord willing, you got something out of it. With that, before I end off, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, our teachers. Shalom to you brothers pushing and teaching this truth. Until next time, Lord's will, I say shalom, stay strong, and keep the faith, no matter what. Shalom.